Hello, everybody. Welcome to Read At Your Reality Worries. I am your host, and I answered a question that was very interesting, which was, uh, how do I know I'm the one creating my reality? How do I know things aren't just random? And the question came about really about a specific large amount of money, which was quoted for a bill that they or a family member had to pay, and they went about it the typical human experience of how we go about things, and that's not there's nothing wrong with that. That's how you're supposed to do it, following the script as human, knowing you are awake as awareness, right? So, what happened? She followed the script as human. You know, as humans, you have the fears, you talk about them, you don't talk about them, but you don't necessarily try to do something about it, right? Because you know, that's not my preferred reality. My preferred reality is ease. My preferred reality is joy, love, bliss, and easily approached life because that's what I choose. Adventure. I am who I say I am. Second day, I think she's talking about her fears and how she felt about this thing to friends. It's all good because nothing you do changes anything that is. Because anything you did also was is. Right? Think about it like that. Anything you do was is, and anything that you want to be is already is. Because all of reality is. It's just done. It's finished. Right? You just kind of just going here and there, but it depends on who you are. You are God, right? If the higher your self concept of what God means to you, the higher your self and life experience is. So, third day, second quote came, new bill, 1/100th of the price, right? That's a significant change. That is significant. You can even look at that change as how she sees herself as God, right? There's, oh no, I'm God. No, that's not what I'm going to experience. I'm going to experience it much less than that. She's 100% more God, and because that price dropped 100% less, right? Which is kind of a cool way to look at it. But it's all in fun, okay? So, what happened after that? She had the typical, was this random? Was this coincidence? Is this really happening? Am I the creator? How did that first thing happen? How did the second thing happen? Why do I have so much fear? Blah, blah, blah. Right? Typical stuff. Abraham Hicks has a very cool story about this, the word coincidence actually, which was events coinciding with each other. And that's typically what it is, because you're the one that created the experience. You didn't pull 10,000, you didn't pull 150, you created the experience of knowing yourself as God, as source, that everything around you is working out. That's what you did. You created the experience of everything working out around you. But for things to work out around you, they have to seem as if they are not first for it to work out. Otherwise, how would you experience it working out? Right? So, that being said, you put the event of 100 of the large amount of money, 10,000, which was first quoted to her, and then you put the event there of expressing your fear. You put the event there of the next one, which is 100, right? And then you put the event there of whether or not this is random. You put all four of those events there. All of that coinciding with how you are seeing yourself. You know you are God, but you are doubting it, and you're wondering whether the doubt matters. So you put all of the stuff there, right? Unwanted, unwanted, preferred, confused. That's basically who you are, right? Sometimes it means the unwanted, getting what you want, being confused about it, realizing the fear didn't matter, but you still had it anyway. Right? That's who we. That's kind of how our blueprint goes, right? We do that sometimes. But you are God. You're the one that put those things there. You are that, right? But here's the thing: you get to interpret that experience however you like. If you want to interpret it as random, you can. It'll just seem more random to you. If you wanna interpret it as, no, I put this there as source, but not my physical self. My higher self put it there to point me back to me, that I am the source of reality. That reality is always going to work out for me because in my awareness, because I am awake, it must, right? Ooh, right. So on Monday, actually myself, I was making a joke about MSC Cruises, which is a holiday cruise liner where I live, and in my country. Where is it? Anyway, it's in my country somewhere, right? And I made a joke about this on Monday. On Tuesday, I saw this post about coincidences, and then on Wednesday, I heard actually people talking about the MSC cruise in the gym. It was very random. It's not a typical topic or conversation, but it randomly happened. Here's the thing: the same thoughts popped up for me, right? Doubting, fear, But doubting whether or not like is reality, randomness, or is it typical? Is it actually a typical thing to talk about? That kind of thing. All of this stuff pops up. Normally, it just pops up. I'm indifferent to all of that, right? Because I know I create my own reality. That stuff doesn't matter to me. I know I create my own reality. Even the doubt that pops up when I say that, I create my own reality. It doesn't. Those thoughts don't matter. They're always going to be there because there's always a context that you are experiencing as human of I am and I am not. You always have context, right and left, right? You always have that, so it doesn't matter. Now you can always have these thoughts, and there's always a reason as to why you can have these thoughts. But it's more of a backward reasoning than a forward one, where it's like, oh, did I really? I mean, I happen to just randomly be standing there. But here's the thing: could you randomly be standing there if you tried? How many times in an infinite number of chances could I have to actually be standing there when somebody literally starts speaking about this random thing that I said, right? How many times? It's nigh impossible. I have to be at the right place at the right time, at the right distance to hear the right word of the right word just to consider the synchronicity. But you don't have to do that. That's what Source is showing you. Source is showing you it doesn't matter where you are. I am. It doesn't matter where your physical body is, I am. It doesn't matter where you want to be and where your physical body is experiencing itself to be, because I am where I am. I am everywhere. I am everything. I am all at once. I am all people everywhere and all ideas wrapped up in myself. So as you raise your self-concept to God, I am God, right? You don't have to raise it. Just go there. I am God. But understand what I am God means, because I am God can mean a lot of things. Like if you watch TV and series, quite often, or even books, you see a god, the concept of a god, fitting in the world, right? It fits either in the planet it's in, or the universe it's in, or the galaxy, or whatever. It's like the concept of God fits within the universe. For some reason, the universe is always bigger than God, or in some universes, the gods are outside the universe, and then there's a universe, and then there's a god. It's quite funny, right? Here's the thing. God is all reality. Everything that you can see, taste, touch, and understand and be aware of is God. And I don't just mean a physical thing. I mean the idea of a thing. Okay? The idea of love is God. The idea of holding that block in my hand is God. The physical expression of holding the block is God. Why? It's all just energy. Whether we can see the energy or not, it's God. You see, light is largely invisible. We can't see light. We can see the reflection of light, but we can't actually see the beam of light shot past our eyes because it's invisible. See, there's more to life than we can see, but we are aware of its existence. The awareness of its existence is your awareness as God, knowing things exist even though you can't see it. The awareness as God is knowing things exist even though your physical eyes cannot see it. That's what the God part of you is. And the rest of you is God too. Right? Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that awareness is God. The physical stuff is always changing. That's God, but is God always changing? Because your awareness is always moving into higher states, right? Or the same state, depending on you. You are God. So raise that awareness of your self-concept, your story, to I am God. That's it. That's who you are. Right? And anything that you desire is actually in your awareness. Like, how do you know that? You couldn't imagine an idea that doesn't exist. You couldn't, because it doesn't exist. You can't contemplate that which does not exist. You can't contemplate that which does not exist. You can only contemplate that which does exist. And all things exist, because anything you can be aware of exists. You couldn't think of something that doesn't exist. So it's even pointless to say all things exist. It's just that all things are. So, I am your host, Reese. This is Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. Thank you all for being here. Much love, much light. If you want to contact me, get to know, ask me questions, email, Facebook, comment section. Thank you for that. Thank you for the liking, the subscribing, the following, the sharing of the videos, joining of my Facebook group, the TikTok page, Instagram as well. So, much love to you all, and I'll see you all in the next one.